Come on. Come on.
He's so cute. Hi, I'm Kaelin. So nice to meet you. This is so
Gomez.
Gomez.
Jealous.
Hello. Can you sit? Thank you. You're a good boy. Hi. Hi, I'm Kaelin. Nice to meet you. How old is he?
3.
He's 3. Did you rescue? Yeah, he's so cute.
But,
Did you DNA test him at all?
No, we haven't.
He's so cool. Okay, so starts nipping at people out of nowhere sometimes too?
Yeah, like no growling or anything before. It's just like, it is definitely a lot better, but
good boy.
yeah, he's it's seemingly almost out of.
Was he always like that?
No, so it was like first of all, like they kind of, when we spoke to the behaviorists, they kind of mentioned it as like fight or flight. Originally it would have been like
good boy, yes.
You know, flight. He would just be scared and he just wouldn't interact with people he was afraid of.
Okay.
And then it was almost like he realized that wasn't working and scary things kept happening. So then he kind of
got
it over to being a bit more like
right before age 3.
About a year and a half.
A year and a half is when that a lot of times switches. They get like another boost of hormones.
Yes.
So I've seen these type of behaviors in like full cattle dogs, probably like 5 different instances I can think of. So they started out fearful, but a lot of the ones that I worked with, the owners were really negative when the dog was going into fear state.
Yep.
Did you guys ever do that in the beginning? Were you like, no, don't?
In the beginning, definitely, because it surprised us. We were like, no, like,
yes,
but
it's a good boy. You know that word. He's like, give me the treat.
Now we definitely put more effort into like,
praising.
in praising, like when he's being good.
Yeah.
And he has his little crate that he loves, so like we manage it better by, if people are around that he doesn't know, we make sure everyone's inside sitting down and calm before he's introduced into the situation.
Right.
He's got something to distract him from whatever's going on, and basically everyone knows when they come in the house. It's just to be mindful of that he is more sensitive to situations like that.
Do you think the nipping happens when like somebody makes a quick movement?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's a herding instinct with the breed. He 100% has cattle dog in him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you researched that breed at all?
Not really, no.
Yes, they're very, very sensitive.
Yeah.
They're just genetically have these fear issues starting out and anxiety issues and then just these herding tendencies 100%. Basically to really resolve the issues, and they can be resolved. I don't know what you guys have done, but kind of how you approached me is like management, you know, and I would 100% recommend that in times that you don't have the time to work on it.
Yes.
But when it's somebody that you know, and I'm gonna have us do it too, take the time to work on it. So in those instances, when people come in, so is he in his crate first?
Yes, either in the crate, or we live in an apartment with a big balcony. So he's either on the balcony, which is his, like, he's got a little kennel, or we'll put him in his little crate and he'll rest there.
Is he like barking, going crazy when people come in?
Yes.
Like it's like if he were out of the crate, he'd be like hurting them, nipping the ankles, or what?
Nipping the ankle. He's definitely not calm.
Got it.
It's same as like if he hears a car pull up or something. It's like a stressful thing.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so the crate is fine, but you have to do mental work with it. Do you guys do that? Like if you're both there, what I would recommend is crate is great, or leash, and at a distance, and be shifting his mind off of the people coming in. Have you done that?
Yeah, so we in terms of things like we give him like a toy that's got like something for him to do to keep his mind occupied. Is that what you mean?
So you want to rewire his brain basically. So the first step is get to the, you know, people entering or like people hugging you as a neutral association. And yes, that's kind of what a toy does. The hard part with a toy though is you have 2 extremes. When the toy's there, full focus there, then you take it away and you're back to square one. And there's no really, you can't gradually let his mind go. And that's what you have to do. So you get to the point where if you're sitting at his crate, you're like, Gomez, hi, yes, don't even look at the people walking in right here. Yes, down. And you can do like puppy push-ups. Yes, sit. Yes, down. Yes, sit. Oh no, I don't even have a treat.
You want one?
Can I get one? Yeah. Okay, one more. Yes. So if you felt like, you know, when you do that, and this would take two of you, somebody to obviously answer the door and one person to be, you know, doing this with him. And again, you can have him on the leash, away from the people, or through the crate. If you were on top of him the whole time, do you think he wouldn't care at all about the people coming in? Or would it be hard to still be like getting this focus?
Yes and no, because we've kind of done an exercise like this where we do, we practice it like one of us walks in the front door and the other one of us stands at the door giving him like treats and telling him to, kind of doing similar to what you just did. Yeah. Like telling him to sit while the other person walks back and forth, and he does seem to stay focused on us mostly, right? He might turn, but then he'll come back to like, if you've got food, like he'll be with you.
He'll do it with food?
Yes.
Okay, let's try it right now. Do you want to make him just do a sitting down, and I'm going to come up and hug you and see. Okay. So first thing is, I would make sure that he can see this in the beginning. Yes. Hi! And then call him to you right now. Oh, hello! Yes, see, that was perfect. That was really good. I think that, so here's the thing with a dog like this is where a lot of people like stop training or like pause or are stuck, is, okay, I have his focus, now what do I do? Yeah. And so I'm pretty sure he looked at you, or did you call him to look at you?
I didn't, no.
He looked at you on his own, right? So what I always say is when you're working through reactivity or anything like this, the two different levels of training are level one. Will a dog respond when you're calling him? Which it seems like he's amazing at that. And I'm sure when there's multiple people coming into your home, the territorial factor, it's harder.
Yes.
Right. But you have to look at each scenario as a level one and a level two. A level two is, will the dog do it on his own? Because that's what you want. You want him to divert that energy of, oh, I'm jealous, I have to get over there. You want to rewire him so he's like, okay, I see that. That means look to here, which he just did on his own. Right. So you have to get like 100 more level twos with people entering the door to be able to get him to do it on his own. Does that make sense? Like every instance that I work on, I'm like, okay, let's see if I can do a level one. Yes, okay, now let's do that same thing at a level two and see if he would do it on his own. Now can I see if you go up and hug her?
Go up and do what?
Hug her.
Hug her?
Yep. So look at, he's getting, so call him now.
Go, man.
Yeah.
So see, there's the level one. So you would want to keep doing that same exact exercise. Do it again, Michael.
Hey. Go, miss.
Yep, call him.
Go, miss.
I'm okay.
Go, miss.
Yes. He does it when you shake hands too, right? Just any attention?
Like I've literally had friends like lean over and do this.
Yeah.
He's got upset
Look.
about it.
Okay, so let's do it again. Call him.
Go, miss. Go, miss. Go, miss.
Yeah, totally. Okay, great. Does that make sense? Like he needs more and more and more of him doing it on his own, because if you're constantly, a lot of people just stop on the level one, they're like, oh my, because they get nervous that he's gonna do something. But at that point, when you have so much control, like a lot of people lack that control, like getting that instant focus when you call his name. I would say he aces that, right? If you have food, you call his name, you've got that instant focus. So many people don't have that. So then let him do it on his own. It's kind of like, I'm holding your hand, showing you what to do, now you show me, just like a kid. But if you never give him that opportunity to do it on his own, he never will, you know? Totally. Yes, good job. So I would practice that when people come into your home for sure. Is it just like that, do you think? Or is it he more worked up when it's at the home?
No, he'd be worse at home, I think.
He'd be worse?
Yeah, definitely.
Then you might have to do like 25 level ones until you finally get him to a control place to then let his mind go and look back. And then what you should do when you get more of the level ones and twos is only give a treat with the level two. Hi! Hi everyone! Let's see, hi! Hello, who's this?
This is Ziggy.
Hi Ziggy! Hi!
She's a bit of she's a bit nervous when we take her out, and she's very
Did you rescue her?
What's that? Yeah.
Recently? How old is
no,
she?
we've had her for about a year.
Okay.
And we've had a dog behaviourist come out, and he said that she's got pretty bad separation anxiety.
Okay.
And then we've done some crate training after seeing your page.
Cool.
And she did settle down. This is actually her pretty calm.
Okay.
Surprisingly, but
got it.
Just can't seem to keep her focus, or like even get her focus.
Ziggy, sit. Yes, good. Oh, sweet girl. She's great with people and dogs?
Yeah, she's got another dog at home, which is an older male, which we rescued about 3 years before her.
Okay.
But we can't take him out anymore, like to a park like this, because he's been attacked by a dog a couple of times.
Oh no.
So he's really fearful when he goes to a park. So, and then that kind of triggers her as well, like
I'm sure
her anxiety levels up. So
okay, got it. So it's all new to her.
Yeah, but I mean, like, she's been with us for over a year now.
Yeah.
But like I say, this is actually her pretty calm, but
oh wow,
she's really like scared.
Yeah, totally. So, do you bring treats out places like this? Does she take them ever?
Yeah, we did do clicker training with her, and we were doing like treats with the clicker training and that. But we've done that for about 8 months.
Okay.
But as soon as you go like out into a setting like this, even we'd go like early in the morning to try and like ease her into it. She just goes like deaf to the clicker.
Sit. Yes, good girl. So one thing, different types of anxiety, obviously, the social anxiety and then the separation anxiety. The number one thing that I would do is, it may seem like you can never get her focused, but honestly, the fact that just sitting here, that I was able to get her focused twice is really good. You would think that it's not. Ziggy, sit. Yes, good. So what she needs is that constant direction, because you're right, for that amount of time, I got her focused 3 times, but 99.7% of this time, she's in her own world. So you have to go places where I would set a timer. I call it dog meditation. Have you heard me talk about this before?
I've heard you do like the lead training where you like go out, don't go for like length of walk, go for time of walk.
Totally. But I wouldn't even move.
Like 100% of your time before you go.
For sure.
Before you go anywhere.
I wouldn't even move a place. So I would set a timer for, and I mean, I can do this. Is my phone in here? It would obviously go better with treats, but I would sit here for, let's see, we'll do 2 minutes. Ziggy, sit. Right here, Ziggy. Here, I'll grab her leash. Ziggy, look. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, she shakes, huh?
Yeah, she shakes and touches and drops and all that sort of stuff.
Ziggy, shake. Yes, Ziggy, come. Yes, Ziggy, Ziggy, sit. Ziggy, yes, down. Yes. And she's good with dogs?
Yeah.
Usually?
If we let her off down there, she's got really good recall as well. Like,
oh, good, Ziggy,
do take her off the leash. She calms down a lot.
Yes, down. Come on, you can do it, Ziggy. So I would just be doing all the tricks that she knows, commands, for the entire 2 minutes straight. I would just do this 2 minutes, and even if it's just right outside your doorstep. So the key with this is the leash walking is good, but the environment is changing constantly. Ziggy, sit. Yes. Look. And the looking is super, super important, because an anxious dog is so stubborn about looking at you. Have you guys done a look command?
Yeah, we do, like, Ziggy, look at me.
Ziggy,
we can't just like hold our eye contact or like hold the focus. Like,
okay.
Do you get it? Like,
I would
off.
practice it at home. So right here, I wouldn't obviously expect her to, but if you practice this at home, what I would do is, okay, Ziggy, sit. Yes, look. So this is super important to never reward fully, even if you're at home and it's a sit without focus, that's nothing. Yes, and that's where you would treat. So be super, super strict with that. And then what you can do to start prolonging those things. So a lot of these things you're gonna have to start in the house and work your way out. And especially at a place like this, I would only take her out of the car and then, Ziggy, sit. This way. Come. Hi. Yes. Right here. Look. Yes. That's a good girl. See, she's so stubborn about it. And she doesn't even realize it's the key to all of getting out of her own head is just looking to you. She thinks it's her job to be so hyper alert about everything. But if she just looked to you, all her problems would be resolved. So I would prolong the focus and holding positions. Do you feel like even in the house, it's just like she sits instantly and then wants to get up, or is she?
100%. Yeah, she'll look, and especially if we do have treats at home,
Yeah.
it takes them a lot better.
Okay.
Take the treat, or she'll sit, get the reward, and then she's gone.
Yes.
She goes to the other dog.
Totally. So I would go like this. Let me see if she'll think it's a treat. Sit. Yes. So she still fully hasn't done it, so I wouldn't give the treat yet.
Yeah.
Come on, you can do it. Over here. Over here, baby.
To me, dude.
You have to look at me. You know what to do. You know. Halfway. Like, you should never let that fly as a sit. And if you shut that down right away and it's like, this does not count for anything, she'll stop doing it and she'll give in to the looking at you way faster.
We have noticed as well, she'll when we are trying to get her to look at us, she'll go through every other command she knows. She'll be like, paw, high five, sit, play, all of that sort of stuff.
Totally. She's so stubborn about the looking.
Yeah.
And you see the time that she's calmest is actually when her mind isn't running all over, when it is looking at you. So once you start getting that look command, now when you taught the look command, do you teach it with a treat, like hold a treat out?
Yeah, so I can't remember if it was one of your videos or not, but it was like, we got the treat and you do look at me, and held it to our nose. So
don't hold it to your nose.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the one thing that wasn't from me. So I like to hold the treat out here.
Yeah.
So that this is literally what she's doing. She's looking way out there, and in order to get what she wants, she has to break focus and look to you. Because it's very easy. It's almost like cheating. She gets to look at both. That's like if she's looking this way and I just go in front of it, you know? So it'd be out here and you say, look. I know, I wish this was more enticing. And this one, I don't like to even repeat the name, nothing. Just pure patience. And finally, once she does make eye contact with you, give her the treat. So the way that I teach it, it takes them a little bit longer to register it. It's okay, baby. But she's actually understanding, okay, to get, is she trying to get back to the car?
I don't know. Look,
she probably doesn't know either. Oh, you parked that way?
Yeah, I don't know if she's...
You don't know where you're trying to go either.
No, parked over there, but
oh, you are?
think she wants to go and play on the beach as well.
She doesn't know. Yeah, so
mind.
Also, she should know that the key to getting what she wants is through you always. So it's like, if she's wanting to go that way, I would always never follow her mind.
Yeah.
Because it's probably easy to be like, okay, let's go, if she's just pulling that way, but she's always going to be in the lead then. So you should first, if she's wanting to go that way, bring her over here. Ziggy, sit. Up, try again. Up here. Hi. Hi. She's so stubborn. Hello.
Nice stubborn dog.
Hello. I saw a tiny bit of side eye. That's not going to work. Ziggy. So literally keep backing up until she stops focusing that way.
We spoke to one guy who's a behaviourist, and he was like, get him out, get him desensitize them as much as possible, take them to the shops with you, all this. And then we spoke to another trainer who's like, both your dogs should never leave the house.
Really? Okay.
They shouldn't even be allowed to see other people and all this. So
I would say an in-between is the perfect amount. So if you had that the advice when you first got her about take her out, socialize her like crazy, I would have told you the same thing.
Yeah.
But now that it's been a year and just pure socializing with letting her mind running isn't helping her anxiety, you should only take her places when you can mentally be on top of her. Because even setting the timer for 2 minutes, I don't think I even finished it. Sorry, I always get sidetracked. Even for 2 minutes, you can see that we barely have our focus calling consistently every single time. So I would work to get that 2 minute, the goal with the meditation is if you took her out on the front step every day for 2 minutes straight, you would have to call her to you less and less. The first time you'll probably have to call her 200 times. The next time she'll learn to hold it longer. And then you'll be able to just chill for 2 minutes. She's nothing but focused on you and her mind is calm. So I would focus on those small increments instead. So it's kind of the same thing that I had to do with one of my dogs when he was exhibiting some kind of behavior with other dogs when I first adopted him. Little traces of aggression. I knew the only way to solve it was 100% of the times I exposed him to other dogs is I had him on leash and I was controlling that behavior. It was fixed in 2 weeks because 100% of the time he was exposed to the other dogs, he was on a leash. Like, it sucked because all my other dogs get to play in the park and be off leash. Yeah, and I'm sitting here just on top of him, but it's so worth it. So I wouldn't take her to, out to dinner unless you could be on top of her 100% of the time. And just in the beginning, it might not be like the front step might be for just a week straight. That can be a place, if that's all you can be on top of her because it's 2 minutes. But try to increase that time when she gets like a solid 2 minutes and then move forward. Because think about if you did that work and then you took her out to dinner one night, an hour, her mind is just running. That's just her natural instinct taking over and you've erased everything that you had just worked on. Yeah, so I would just do that 100% of the time. Do you guys have CBD oil here? Do you use that? No, it's literally like from the hemp plant. So it's almost like, it's not like it gets them high or anything, but it's from the, right? Isn't it from the hemp plant? Yeah, it's from the hemp plant that just calms them. It has this calming behavior, all natural. It's amazing, incredible. If you, did you DM me at all? DM me and I'll send you a link to one because I'm sure you can buy it online. Did they ship international? In a vet? Yeah. I think you would see a huge difference in her behavior.
So do you use that before we take her out, or is it like something that she hasn't?
I would do like daily. I did it with my foster dog. I don't know if you were following me when I had my foster dog Grayson. He was a very anxious dog with strangers, so same kind of behaviors, but just like if strangers are around. And it helped immensely with him. I only used it when we would go places, but you could do the same thing. It's so great. And I think it's a great alternative to like medicating a dog, you know.
We had the vet said to us, like, you need to medicate. They were saying both of them as well, because the other one for his aggression. But we said with the other one, we were like, well, we don't put him in situations where he can get aggressive anymore. So we don't really understand why she was recommending that.
No, I don't think for aggression. I've never really heard of that. I mean, I do think anxiety meds would help her, but I think if you just really, really put in the work to be on top of her mind and use CBD oil as a supplement, you'll see huge, huge improvements with her. And then just training her in just her everyday thing. If she's like crying because she wants a treat on the counter, don't let her mind get what she wants. Send her to her bed, make her sit, make her lay down, shift her mind off of that so she's always looking to you, to what's next, then give her that treat that she wanted. As long as her mind isn't associating like, I have to cry, I need to get that, that's how I get it. When a dog is anxious, they're rewarded for their anxious behavior because it's easier. So even if it's just he's pulling this way, taking a couple steps back until her mind is off of that, then going back to the car. Even that would be better. I mean, ideally you'd take her there, make her sit, then go to completely shift her mind, but she definitely can work through it. You just have to be on top of her mind more than her mind is controlling it. Hi!
She's not super friendly.
Okay, how old is she?
She's 18 months.
Oh my goodness, she's so cute! What's her name?
Stitch.
Stitch? Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a cutie. So not friendly to people, or is she good with dogs?
She's fine with dogs.
Oh,
people.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's people. She came to us almost a year ago as a rescue, or rehome.
A rescue? Oh.
But it's not.
This is my dream dog, by the way. This is like what I've always wanted.
She's beautiful. Like for me and my partner, she's
amazing.
Amazing. And for my dad, he's the only other person that she's full comfortable
with.
Come here, sit down. Don't want you launching at anyone. So breeding is the issue. She was taken away from her mum at 4 weeks old. So she lost all that kind of socialization stage where she learnt the skills that she needed for the rest of her life.
Yeah. So you knew that part of her background?
Yeah. So in WA, the Great Dane Lovers Association are amazing, and they get all the rescues from, like, if anything pops up, they grab them and make sure that they're rehomed to people that kind of understand all the issues.
Awesome.
And all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and she's beautiful, but she's
gorgeous. Has she always been?
Yeah.
So you got her at...
I don't think she was as a puppy.
You got her at like 6 months?
9 months, yeah.
Oh, 9 months.
Yeah.
Okay. And right at 9 months, she was like, had these behaviors?
Yeah, so as soon as we got her, she had the behaviors.
And what does she do? If I walked up, would she bite me?
She wouldn't bite you. She hasn't bitten anyone, but she'll launch and she'll growl.
Lunge, okay.
Growl really aggressively.
And it must be just in her bubble though, right? Because I mean, she's doing fine right now. I could see her getting tensed up when we like approached, but she seems to be okay. Okay, so one, I'm actually impressed that that's the extent of her issues. Because typically when they're this old, well, let's see, she's about 1.5 years. Have you seen things amplify lately, or has it always been static?
Probably been getting better since we've
Getting better? Okay, good.
So it's definitely like the things that we've been doing, I think have definitely been improving. Like there's no way that when we first got her, we would have been able to stand this close.
Right,
like,
yeah, this is really close.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've also, I guess, we've pushed her quite far. Like, I mean, we've tried to go to cafes and things like that. And,
Okay.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It just depends on how she's feeling.
Got it. Okay,
Sorry,
so
a lot of
no, I love it. I'm asking for it all. I'm like, my mind is just like racing because I know exactly what to tell you right now, and I'm really excited. So the first thing is, every single time that she greets somebody at the house, do you get her focused on you first, or do you let her just go up to the person with the treat?
We have let her go up to the person with the treat, but we've been trying to stop that recently.
100% of the time, you have to get her focused first.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't seem like it makes a difference with that specific introduction, if you give her that go say hi command, once her focus is off of the person, it will make all the difference. And also, it puts us in a step to the next direction to working through it. So I don't know if you've heard me talk about like the different levels when you're working through issues. Is one thing I've noticed with her right now is that when her mind gets into the state where she doesn't feel comfortable and wants to lunge, there's no way she's at that level 2 where she does it on her own. So level 1 is, does she respond to your direction? Do you think 100% of the time if she's zoning in on something and you call her, she doesn't snap out of it for a level 1?
Yeah.
So I would get to a point consistently, like for 2 weeks straight, only take her places. Now out front is difficult, right? Because you have neighbors out, or how?
It's
not really.
okay most of the time.
Okay, like you could control it, like distance from people. So I would say, like, you know, only like if this is the distance you know 100% of the time, you could get her focus. For 2 weeks straight, you have to get to that point of just a neutral, like, oh, she's great. She hasn't reacted at anybody because we're literally dodging everybody in the park. I would like put in the work to get to that 2 week mark of 100% of the time. Every single time, like you're staying away from people, nobody is coming to the house and like giving her that treat. Do you guys have visitors a lot?
Not really.
Okay. Or if it's people that she knows, that would be okay. Like, or if people are coming over, just keep her separate. Just like 100% so you know there's going to be no issues at all. Like this is what I had to do with one of my dogs to completely switch their mind, is because to really switch that natural instinct that she has, and let me tell you, she's literally in her prime to switch it, because I don't see dogs stay at this level for a long time where there's no real bites. And the thing is, why I asked if it's getting worse is because at 1.5 years, they get an extra boost of hormones, and it usually amps up these types of protective instincts. And it's really good practice if you can have anybody, I know it's difficult, but even people that like, I'm sure you get it all the time wherever you walk, like, oh, gorgeous, making eye contact with her, because not making eye contact, definitely management. I love that you have that, like to stop people, but she's got to get used to it, because people are going to be looking at her that are saying hello to her eventually. What is it?
We definitely find, say something biting you.
So I would honestly, like anyone that's like, oh, she's so pretty, I would be like, oh, thank you. She, you know, she's not friendly, but like let them work on the eye contact instead of like dodging them right away, and just let her, when you're going to do a level 1, actually let her zone in. So usually, and I don't know what you usually do, but usually if people do this, they either call the dog too quick so the dog can't get into that zoned in state, because that's what she has to get in. You have to get her into the state where she wants to lunge and get comfortable. That's very uncomfortable to get your dog into that. But I think you have so much control of her, enough control, that if she lunges, she's not going to get anywhere.
When she's been on lead, it's never been
an issue. Yeah, you're very relaxed about it too, so that's really good, because I'm sure she feeds off of that too. I see a lot of people are like so scared. Hi! Call her back to you.
Stitchy, look at me. Good girl.
Yes, good. Try again. Hi! Yes! Level 2! Good girl!
You don't want to stop.
And even that, oh look, she looked at you. So even any kind of zone in, even if then he backed up, always ended on her looking at you. Even if they had gone around the corner. Always ended on, no matter, whenever you get into that state, I'm always going to make you come back here to me. So the faster you do it, the faster your mind can go back out. And if you're really firm with that, I would just be constantly like focus here. I asked you about obedience wise though, and I don't think she seems stubborn because she's able to like look at you. To be in this state, like this environment, and be looking at you and snapping out of it pretty quickly when you ask her, isn't a stubborn dog to me. It tells me that you've like worked with her, you know, because there's so many dogs that this entire time I could maybe get their focus once because they're just so hyper alert. So that's super important, that when a dog thinks they need to protect you, that there are those boundaries, like, nope, you listen to me. Because if she's not following your direction to look up at you, her issues will never be resolved. So focus, but not too much focus. You have to get her, again, into the state of mind where she wants to react. So I think her issues too are so controlled. They're more controlled than the average dog with this issue, that a lot of the times with the average dog, we have to work to just get to this point first. And now you can feel more comfortable just letting her mind go and then training it to come back to you. Because like,
just taking it to that kind of next step.
Just letting the mind go, and you calling her, then letting the mind go, and her doing it on her own. Yeah, for sure. Yay! Oh my gosh, you have to keep me updated on her progress. She's so beautiful.
She's at home. She's honestly, she's the most
Oh my God, she's so pretty. Yes, you are.
pretty, aren't you?
Good girl. Yes. You're welcome. I wish I could pet you. Next time I will, absolutely. Keep me updated on her, okay? You're welcome. It was so nice to meet you. Stitch, she's so cute. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good rest
You
of the trip.
too. Oh, I am. I'm loving it here. Oh my God.
Weather's so good at the moment.
It's unreal. I know. I'm like trying to figure out how to move here.
Honestly,
It's
it's the best place.
it's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
This area is so nice. I loved Bunker Bay where it was beautiful. Yeah.
Go to Meetup Beach.
Yes. But we had a private beach at Pullman Resort, and that was even, it was incredible. I love it. I'm going to Sydney next, but I don't think anything can beat. No, I haven't. We were in Cairns before, but it was very rainy.
Yeah, it's a bad time of the year.
Yeah, but it was still pretty, the rainforest and all that. I know. Oh, I don't want to leave. I'm like, how can I extend my trip like another month here?
And the thing is, like, no one comes to WA, but it's just...
It's incredible.
It's amazing.
I know.
And if
I
you
love
get
it.
a chance, go right up north to Kimberley. It's beautiful.
Oh, really? I think I've heard of that. Yeah, there's lots there, right?
Near Broome, like, there's like pristine white beaches, and then there's beautiful red rocks, and the blue ocean's just gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, I wish I had time. I know, I'll be back soon. So nice to meet you. Bye. Hi, thank you so much for waiting, you guys. Good, how are you? Who's this? Hazel? Hazel? Hi. Hello, beautiful. Does she? Really?
Yeah.
Yes, you're a Weimaraner, of course. So how is she doing with everything?
She's good. We've got another 5-year-old at home, a 5-year-old Weimaraner, and
Oh, she's sweet girl. Are you so sweet? Oh, you have another Weimaraner at home?
Yeah,
okay, so you're familiar with the breed.
Yeah, well, we rehomed him.
Oh, okay.
And he was good with us, and then we knew we were going to have 2 eventually. So we've had her since 8 weeks.
Okay.
But
Hi, pretty girl.
I'm not confident to bring them together.
Okay.
Because my husband's at work. But he's very protective, more protective of her, like ever since she's come in. So before we could like take him out to the park by himself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But ever since like the Perth, so I just wondering if you could help me get on the right.
Yeah, for sure. Protective of other dogs, people approaching, or tell me the instances when he's protective. What are you chewing on?
Of her. So, well, basically at home, she's very happy to play with him.
Okay.
But once I started socializing her by herself, she's very, very shy.
She seems a little bit shy, huh?
Yeah. So like at puppy class, I was really shocked. At puppy class because she didn't play at all.
Oh.
And she just went off into the corner.
Okay.
The other puppies
Yeah.
It was the opposite to what
She has a shyer temperament for sure.
Yeah.
But you would much rather have that in this breed, because I can't even think of one that I've met that has been shy. They usually are more outgoing, and it's harder to bring them back. But I think it's actually really good to. Have you been taking her? Oh, she wants to play with that one.
Yeah.
Because
she's warmed up now.
Have you been taking her to places by herself, or is it abnormal? Always by herself now?
Because we like can't control them together, because she just wants to jump on him and play with him.
Okay.
So everything is done separately at the
Got
moment.
it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's going to be more beneficial in the long run. So, one, I mean, for her to develop that confidence, 100% is amazing.
Yep.
So the only thing that I would do hi, what are you? The only thing that I would do differently is when she's deciding if a dog is okay or not. Is she always friendly with people?
Yes.
Or sometimes a little skittish?
So in the park,
loves people?
she'll always go up to, if someone is new coming into the park, she'll go up and like greet them basically.
Okay.
Like get a pat for them.
Yeah, perfect.
Or she'll go through people's legs. Or
Okay. With dogs, I would just get her focus on you as much as you can first. In a place like this, you sometimes can't when they're approaching, but like that dog that was running up, I would have been like, Hazel, yes, go say hi. As the dog is coming up, like you don't really have control, but you have to take control of the situation. Her shyness or fearfulness, I predict that she probably will just grow out of on her own the more you keep her individualized. But to ensure, like I just saw a puppy her same age that was way worse, like going backwards with people. And so the one thing that I've seen with fearful puppies is if you just socialize them with those things that they're kind of fearful of with mental freedom, when their protective instinct comes in at like 8 to 10 months, it can turn that fearfulness that you saw as a puppy, it can turn to reactivity and aggression towards other dogs. So how to resolve that is if you think there's any bit she's unsure at all, just be like, Hazel, look. Yep, and then give her that command to go say hi, so that she doesn't think it's her job to judge the other dog. Like it's your job, and if you tell her, go say hi, that means she's okay. And even if you see the same, basically the same behaviors from her with that, as if you were only letting her go on her own, it just makes all the difference in the long run. You literally might see she's just as shy right now, but she'll start to know that if she's ever uncomfortable, to look to you instead of taking it out on the dog. Every person tells me like, oh, she would never make the switch. And then I get the call at, oh my God, she's 8 months old and I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I told you.
Yeah, that's
so,
what I thought.
Yeah, just be proactive.
When they're like, is maturing.
Yeah, exactly. So just get the focus. I don't see much fear, like she most likely will continue to grow out of it, but hopefully you'll be able to bring them together when you don't want those issues to happen. So now tell me, so if you go somewhere, she just has all her focus on her brother?
Yes, but playing with him and jumping on him.
Okay. And what's he doing? Is he aggressive towards dogs that come up?
Yes.
And people? What about people that come up to her?
I don't know how to breed on that.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, I can't remember.
How long has it been since you had them together?
Since they've lived together?
Or like out together?
Probably about.
Hazel! So you even like this. Hazel! Yes! Okay, go say hi. And even if she's not gonna say hi, you're giving her that, like when she was zoning in on the dog, even if the dogs don't come all the way up, at least if they do, Hazel! Excuse me. Hi, yes! And then tell her go say hi. Just like if you see them approaching, just focus first. Yeah.
Probably about 2 months.
2 months.
We took them out. It was just like a park area, and we tried to put them separately, but they were like pining after each other.
Oh. Okay. Got it. So, what about if you take them on walks in the neighborhood together? Do you usually?
No, they can't.
You don't?
She'll get too out of hand trying to play with him.
Okay. So, they both need mental chill when they're together, it sounds like, for just different reasons. Her because she's so obsessed with playing, and him because he's just worried and protective of her. So I would first start, I mean, you can even start inside the house. If there's a distance, get them both on leashes in the house, have each of you at opposite ends of the house. And this would be like, I don't know if you just did it in, like if they're playing and then you leash them both and split them up if they would care, or if it has to be like, you're coming home with her now, tell your husband to have him on a leash and they don't get up to each other until they're sitting and controlled the whole way up. So if I'm gonna pretend like you have the dog. Yes! So obviously instead of her mind being just all over, it would be glued to here. The problem is that usually they both probably get what they want when their minds are on each other, because it's just like, okay, go back to your brother, you know? So you have to let them know the way that they get to each other is not worrying about what the other is doing, because they both are doing that for different reasons, right? Because he's protective and she just wants to be with her brother. So I would sit in one spot. So just getting her to sit is the first step. The real judge is where her mind goes after you tell her to sit and she gets the treat. I guarantee you, you'll have to sit in the same distance away for like a few minutes at least until she lets go. So if you tell her sit, she did it for me, but her mind went straight back. Hazel, look. So this is what you should do. It seems opposite when a dog is approaching, that you would run away from the dog, but you have to let her know, Hazel. Yep, Hazel. See, this behavior I've seen, I work with a lot of Weimaraners that are really reactive, and it's this stubborn behavior of, I don't want to look at you, I have to control right here. So, and this is where a lot of people would give up because the dog is gone, but you have to always end it, even though the dog is gone. What did I ask? Yes! And then she can go, oops, did I step on you? So level 1 is, I'm gonna show you what to do, sit, and then you show me what to do. Do that same thing on your own. Almost all the time, once her mind goes back, they start lunging for the treat or her brother again. And then you have to go back to, no, we sit. Hazel. Yes! Now try again. And then when her mind goes out, I'm looking for her to look back at me and see how it doesn't naturally. Then I would just say, sit. Hazel. Yes, good girl. Then I would wait to see if she's gonna come back to me when she goes back looking at her brother, not doing it on her own yet. So the different levels of training are, 1, does the dog listen to your direction? Which when they're apart, it's gonna be hard enough for them to do. You know, just being like, hi, look at me. Level 2 is, will she do it on her own? So it seems like she's never going to be like going back out here and then being like, wait, how do I get it? Oh, I look up here, but they do. You just continuously show them, Hazel, sit. Yes, good. Good girl. Yes, okay, try again. And her mind goes back out. Now I'm just waiting. Yes! Okay, go get it. Then they move forward to be able to see each other. So once they can do, because how they think, it's like, I'm zoning in, this is how I get to brother. He thinks the same thing about her with that protective instinct, but you want to rewire it so that they're not obsessing with each other and they're focused, like even this. How do you get there? Not pulling and being in your own world. Hazel? Yes! Okay, go ahead. What a lot of people do is just the sit, look at me, move forward, sit. But you have their mind the whole time. You have to incorporate that mental freedom after it's like, sit, yes, I showed you what to do. Now let's take one step forward. Then you have to let the dog do it on their own, or they never will. Does that make sense? Because if it's either like you're always on top of them, or the full mental freedom, they resort back to their natural instinct. You have to train their mind how to do it on their own. And the only way you can do that is introducing that level 2 in controlled environments. Does that make sense? So I would just sit there, and I'm sure he would be like obsessing with her. And you might have to bring him back 20 times. Like with the Great Dane that was right here, that she just did a level 2 for the first time ever, because usually the mom is just really on top of her and doesn't ever let her do. So I don't know, she probably did like 15 calling her to her. And then I was like, okay, this time now let her mind go out, and just give it a few seconds, and out of nowhere, she looked back on her own. But usually owners don't give the dog the chance to do that. When the dog's mind goes out, they're just calling it back instantly, so the dog never has to do it on their own. And with a breed like this, who's very intelligent and has a mind of their own, they actually like this challenge. Weimaraners love to be able to be like, okay, what am I supposed to do to get there? Oh, I look up here instead of being in my own mind like that. I think Weimaraners would be the perfect dog if they weren't always trying to think ahead. Like if you could get a Weimaraner to just look to you for everything that they want, they'd be amazing, because that's where their issues start. They're just in their own mind. They're prone to this too. A Weimaraner that I worked with in San Diego, I couldn't even take the leash like I just did. So he was like pulling to get back to his owner if we were this far apart. And she's like, it's okay. And I'm like, no, back up. I couldn't get him to sit until I walked like 6 blocks away. So I walked 6 blocks, and he finally let go of that like anxiety of like wanting to be with her. And once he did, we worked our way up. So that was only getting the level 1. So I would first do this with the both of them, you know, decrease that anxiety that they have away from each other. And then you can add in other dogs, because think about it, if he's just worried about her and you guys are in your house, then move it out to your neighborhood maybe where there aren't other dogs, or just go places where there's no other dogs and work on that. If he can't even let go of just her, adding in that other variable, you have no chance. I will tell you that. So you really have to work on the 2 of them, getting them to just look to you guys more than each other, especially him. And then what you can do is go to places, there's dog park, like fenced in dog parks here. Then what I would do is one of you take her in the dog park, the other one walk around the outside of the fenced in dog park with him. And if you DM me or email me, I can write out what I'm telling you too, the different steps to do. So then once they're good with each other and you're ready to add in that jealousy factor to it, let her play with the other dogs inside, walk around the fence and let him see her playing with another dog, and then call him to snap out of it. So you have to be able to put him into the state of mind, because I see a lot of people do this that are just like holding food there and he's never really seeing what's going on. Well, you have to get him into the jealous state to retrain his mind on what to do when he's jealous. His natural instinct is to take out that jealousy on the other dog. You need to redirect it to you, you know? So it's like whoever's holding him, let him watch. It probably won't take long because he's probably has his eye on her anyways. He's staring. Comrade, call him to snap out of it. Do you think he would snap out of it with food? That's fine. Find a point where he will. And if he's not, back up. Find that place that he will follow that. And that's a level 1. When the dog responds with you calling them, that's a level 1. So that would be level 1 with a variable. Once he's doing that consistently, let the level 2. So then she's playing, let his mind go. You're just waiting for him to be like, oh, I'm really jealous, but I have to look here, and then reward for that. Then what you can do is once you're getting more level 2s, you can only give the food treat when he does a level 2. praise with the level 1, but food with the level 2. So he's always motivated to do it on his own. Because the thing is, if you stay at a level 1, the dog will just be like, oh, they'll call me when they need me. Yep, they'll never do it on their own. Just like a kid. It's like if you're always holding the kid's hand through something, they'll never do it on their own. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, that's so helpful.
Okay, awesome. Because honestly, if it were only her having the issue, I see it a lot. It's not as big a deal as long as you're taking her out individually and letting her have her own independence. Yeah. But it's probably only going to get worse with him. So I think they really need their like alone times. They're just on different ends of the spectrum. They're obsessed with each other, which is great that they get along. Yeah. Awesome. But they just need their own space just a little bit. Did you ever crate train? Yeah, bring it back. Let her have her own, like, let them have their meals in their crate, their own time in their crate. And I would get on this like right away, because she could pick up any type of, I'm glad you're taking them separate. So that's good, actually, that you're not having the issue because it's so managed. That's actually step 1. So you're doing that, which is great. But it's just like when you reintroduce it, make sure that 100% of the time you're able to be on top of his mind, you know? So like, when you reintroduce them with another dog, you're shifting his mind up here, up here, up here, instead of letting his mind go. Because something that I've also seen people try to do is like, you know, put her in the dog park and then just stand there with him outside of the dog park. And I'm like, all you're doing is really, you have the barrier, so the fence, so nothing happens, but his mind is running. Second he's off leash, he's going in for that other dog, you know? So you have to rewire his brain on the leash with the barrier so that they're able to go in the dog park together. And they have a long life together. You don't want, you know, you want them to be able to go in the dog park together, the dog beach, everything. Right. Hi guys, thank you so much for waiting. Hi. Who's this?
Ned.
Ned. Oh my goodness, Ned. Hi. Oh, are you trying to play with the dog? So how's he doing?
So Ned is awesome. We've had him since he was 7 weeks old. He is, well, it doesn't look it right now, but he's very obedient. We go puppy training once a week. Okay. No kids, just me and my partner. Loads of walks, loads of mental stimulation.
Great.
The main issues we're having ongoing is lead pulling. Okay. And just his recall. So he's quite a clever dog, but what happens is we could be in our park. It's home time. He realizes it's home time. He'll come to us, but at a radius where we can't get him.
Okay.
Like this morning, we had to drive out of the dog park.
Oh my gosh.
Until he ran after our car.
And then he came?
Then he came.
Oh my goodness.
So,
okay.
He will follow us everywhere, and when he's off lead, you know, we use toys. He's not overly food motivated. Okay. So, but some of the farm dogs aren't. Okay. Right. But yeah, so he sorry, he wants to play with that.
Oh my gosh. Go away from the off. That's not fair, is it?
No.
It's not fair.
Come on, good boy. So,
hi Ned. So one, I would say dogs who are afraid of that, I would honestly use it but desensitize him of it. So when dogs do that, it's because they don't like the control of it. Yeah. Because he's like, oh shit, they're gonna be, yep. So he doesn't have control of the walk. So it's gonna be the same kind of thing about the recall. It's not about not knowing what the come command is, it's getting in his own head when he knows you're gonna take him, right? It's not really like he's very well trained, but it's just he's too smart when he gets in his own head. Right. So it's the same thing with the harness, is that he sees it and gets in his own head about it. Right. So how to desensitize him of it? So basically, I would first make sure for just like the recall command is perfect in other places without other dogs there. Okay. So recall wise, 2 types of exercise for recall that I do is off the leash, where you can just say come once and make sure it's a firm come, not come here, come on, and you can repeat his name. Hi, yes, good boy. So if I say Ned, come, Ned. Good boy. So a couple things you can do also is do the recall. So level 0 is recall back and forth between you with treats at home. Okay. A dog will always be pretty instant at this if they have a pretty good recall. Yeah. What you should do though is only give a treat or whatever he loves if he comes instantly. Okay. So this is where once a dog has a solid foundation of recall, and actually one thing that will really help is, oh, it's okay. When his mind goes like this on the leash, this is all part of it too, is that he needs to be able to come back to you. Because I can see when his leash goes off, he's in his own world, and once it's home time, he's like, no, thank you. Yeah, so even this is recall practice, not recall practice for his mind. So, Ned, come. Good. Yes! Do you have a treat? Yes, sorry. Thank you.
Ned, come. Good boy, Six.
So you can take him places like this on the leash even. Good job. And get him to come back to you. He's really good once his mind is out at coming back. He's pretty good. But it's not his natural instinct at all. So I would do a lot of this, calling him back to you. And you should see a decrease in the amount that, like, you have basically 100% focus here, or you have 100% focus out here. So then I would kind of see what he does when his mind goes out. Let's see if it comes back to you now, naturally, because he naturally doesn't. Ned, come. Yes. So I'm calling him. The next thing is basically on leash recall that I was going to tell you, and it can start with this. You don't have to use a long recall leash, but see how his mind is still going out and it's not coming back on his own, but he's not as crazy when he's going out. Well, he might turn into it, but he's got a longer span. Ned, come. Yes, good boy. So the different levels of training are: 1, will a dog respond to your direction? He's incredible at that, which the breed usually is, because they're very well trained. And oh, I can grab his leash. Level 2 is, will he do it on his own? So that's what I'm waiting for with these level 2s. I want him to come and check in with me on his own, because the thing is, people don't usually introduce that level in training, and then the dog never does it, because they're like, oh, if she needs me, she'll ask me. So we want this to become his new natural instinct. I mean, think about the most, Ned, come. Yes! Think about the most well-behaved dog off leash. Their mind never escalates to that point where they're lunging like he was, right? They're just like chill, looking at the owner. Yep. And I think when you introduce that level 2, it just adds in a whole different level of respect and bond between you and the dog too, because it's like, I trust you to make the decision on your own to check back with me. And a very intelligent dog like this will love to have that new challenge of like, what do I do? Oh, I look back on my own. So these are different exercises. I'm gonna see if he'll do it. Yes! Good! Yes! And make it like the biggest party ever when he does it on his own. Once you get more of those check-ins on his own, get picky with the treats and only let him get the food treat if he does it on his own. If you have to call him, so now I'll do,
I have to initiate it.
Ned, come. Yes! Then it's just praise. So to get that treat, don't give him the treat yet. To get that was really good though. To get that, he has to go back out and come back on his own. And I usually give like 5 to 10 seconds of them being on their own. I feel like he's very close. Ned, come. Yes, maybe next time. So no treat this time because we had to call him. Yes, but you can tell his mind isn't straying. It's not 0, or it's not 100 and 0. It's that 100% focus out there is dwindling down. So I honestly don't think this has much to do with the actual recall command. It more has to do with just his natural instinct of checking in with you and where his mind is on his own. Ned, come. Yes! I mean, he has incredible response to the recall command, right? Like really, really good. I'm very impressed. It's just with his mind when it goes into that state. And the thing is, once you start being able to get the level 2s, excuse me, what did you get? Thank you. Yes! Yes! Good job for dropping it. Once you get more of the level 2s, you can then increase the amount of time his mind is gone for. And then once you're at, 30 seconds, he has enough self-control to stray off for 30 seconds with his mind and stay pretty calm like this and check in. Then he can start to be off leash with it. So the other part of on, so there we let him go too long, then he got back into the lunging state.
Yeah.
Ned, come. Hi. Yes. So when people do this, I think the thing that they do is they increase that time like that, but they only stay at the level 1. So it's like, Ned, come. He did great at 5 seconds. Then they let it go 30. Only level 1. You need to master level 1, him responding to you at 5 seconds, and then you need to master the level 2, him doing on his own at 5 seconds before moving forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because the other recall thing is having the long recall leash.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he good at it?
I only got it recently, and basically I went to a dog beach, and he just gets to the end and he'll just kind of keep pulling on it. So I'll say come, and if he doesn't respond, then I start reeling it in a bit.
Got it.
But it's only a new thing, so I haven't given it.
It might actually really help make everything be instantly too. So here's the thing is that you don't want to jump to giving him the full 30 feet. So I always start with this, and then it would be, Ned, come. If he doesn't come, you literally pull him instantly. So you only say come once. Excuse me. And this is actually really good because this is practicing his mind to snap out of it when he's zoned in. Yes, good boy. So you want to do it at this distance. Then once he's great and you don't have to pull it, then you increase the distance. So this is just the other type of recall training. It's basically he has 2 seconds. So you say, Ned, come. Doesn't come, you pull him all the way in to show him come is not an option. Because so often people do it off leash and they're like, no thanks, and it's always an option. So you don't say, like usually if he's off leash, you could say, Ned, come. He doesn't come, you say, Ned, Ned. You can repeat name. But with this one, it's just, Ned, come. 1, 2, doesn't come, pull him in. Yes! Reward him just as if he came on his own.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, wasn't expecting that. Only say come once. But this is where then if you had the leash, you'd pull him all the way in. So I think his thing is, it's so he has that like 5 second span, huh? Because you see the difference from when he's coming right away, as long as we only let his mind go out for 5 seconds, you have to make sure you're doing those right increments of time. Then when you're doing the on leash recall, I would do that when there's not the other dogs present. I would first make sure he's just got that like, I have 0 options. Because what happens with this is that the dog understands I don't have an option. Either I can go back or they're going to make me. Ned, come. Ned, 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 Ned. Yes! Okay, good boy. He's in the perfect stage to make sure that that's the new routine. You know, is like you get something, because if you think he's stubborn now, in like 3 months, he'll be even more stubborn, and it will take 10 minutes to get him to snap out of it, because he'll be so used to like, oh, I stare at dogs, zone in, that's how I get to them. But I would practice that going up to the dog beach, going up to everything, like you're the key to all of it. And then you're doing the right thing at the dog parks in the morning, is like getting him to come to you, just giving him a pet. I would also, if he does come up to you, leash him if you can when it's not time to go. And then sit once he's focused on you. Just be like, okay, now you can go again. Just always throw him off.
That's a really good one. That's a good idea.
You just have to always be like a step ahead of him.
Which has been the issue to now,
Yeah, and what you should do before trying to reach for him to grab his collar or like leash is you should get him to sit, lay down, get his mind more with you, because what happens is he checks in with you for half a second every single time, and then he just gets a pet and goes. But if you can get him to get more focus on you, Ned, sit. Sit. Good. Yes. If you can get him to get more focus on you during those check-ins, his mind won't stray as fast and try to go right there where you can't get him. But one thing is, if he's staying over there at that distance, don't show any signs that you're trying to get him to leave. I would just be really chill about it, because if his mind is forward and you physically go forward, you're gonna lose. So get his mind present with you. So this is what I do with a dog who thinks it's a game to be leashed to. I do it all the time. It's just like, come on, come and get this treat, come and get it. And then they come up, make him sit, and actually, yes, give him that treat, and then let him go a little bit, call him back again, sit, because he'll be like, oh, last time, I thought she was gonna try to leash me, but she didn't, I just got a treat. Then next time, Ned! Then give him a treat again that second time, and then leash him. So if his mind is, and you can't always do that, you're not always gonna have time, but if his mind is like, oh shit, they're gonna leash me, it's time to go, you don't wanna move forward. And he doesn't always get to decide that, you know, sometimes he just has to be able to, but if you can get him to just come to you, I find that if like a dog is thinking I'm gonna grab them to put them back in their crate or something, if I can just get them to come to me once, sit, yes, thank you for coming, then get them to come again, their mind is now off of the fact that, oh no, I'm gonna go back to the crate, then they're more likely to come up to me that second time, and then I grab them when they're not thinking about going in. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think all of that will really help. And then I would, same exact concept with the harness. Bring the harness back in. Easy walk is my favorite. Is that what you used? The front clipping?
It was a front clipping chest one.
Yeah,
it did work. It worked well. It worked to a degree. And then he was getting, he was just scared of it, and he knew, like you're saying, that it was in control and not him. So I was like, okay, I'll go back to a lead and a collar. Okay. So what I've been doing, and my partner for the last couple of months, when he pulls, we stop walking, we turn around, we walk back up the street. He knows the heel command really well, but once there's distractions, he won't do that either. You have to work with zero distractions first, even just like, I don't even know where you can go here with zero distraction, but even in your home, very quiet. And I don't know if you've seen my healing exercises, but I am really huge on doing the healing training to try to prevent the pulling. So often people stop once the dog pulls, but what you should focus on is trying to get him before. So how to do that is basically, have you seen my videos on it? I can send them to you too if you DM me, is aim for 100% focus. So when you have the easy walk, it's a lot easier, and you'll call him, and this is with zero distractions first. So if you do these exercises that we've been doing, plus the healing with no distractions, you'll be able to put them all together with distractions, and it will be a breeze. So, but I would practice them individually for sure. So you would just be calling him. You get him in the heel position, he's looking up at you, have food right here, and just call him, Ned! You're not going to right now. Yeah, oh yes! So I'm gonna start walking. Yes, Ned, Ned! So the second that his mind, his face goes down, his eyes are looking at the ground, you're calling him to look up at you. Because so often people do that same thing, then they just keep walking, oh, he pulls, then stop. So if you, and when there's no distractions, you have an enticing treat, it will go a lot smoother. If you can say, Ned, Ned, yes, yes, yes. A lot of the times the head goes down, and if you let that continue, that's what turns into a pull. But when the head goes down, if you can actually say his name and bring it back up, reward him, it prevents the pulling altogether. So stopping when you're pulling, it'll help, but prevention is the best thing for anything, you know? So I'll send you the video on that. The other one that I have is called Follow the Leader. Can I have a treat? Thank you. That's okay. Let me see. So if I sit, let me go this way where there's not dogs. So let's see if I can get your focus. I know it's very hard. This is a hard environment. I'm actually really impressed that he's even able to focus in this environment when all the other dogs are off leash. Yes, Mom's there. She's not going anywhere. Where are you going? Ned. Ned, sit. Yes. So what I'm going to do, now his focus is more on the other dogs. So I don't think this will work right now, but if you have all his focus on you, I would take one step. And so basically to get the treat, he would have to mimic you with that one step and sit right beside you. So naturally, when I take a step, he just goes on that side, goes forward. So you teach him the natural instinct of
feeling that forward motion doesn't mean you just bolt. It means you have enough self-control to follow me and then sit at my side. So if the first time to show him, you have to literally lure him. He doesn't even care about this right now. Ned! Yes, good boy. Look, I have it still. Yes, monsieur. He's like, I'm so tired. Here. Yes, good boy. So if the first time you have to literally, now he's so focused on the other dogs, he doesn't even care about the food. But even if you had to have him sitting and then show him like this and then get him to sit, to show him, Ned, sit. Ned. Excuse me. Hi. Right here. Ned. Come on, you can do it one more. I'm just gonna make you do one more. Ned. Ned. Come on, you can do it. Yes. Just lure him so he knows, like, okay, I just have to take one step. Now this would be when he's really hungry, you have a treat that he's super focused on, so that he's like, okay, I need to stop for it. He'll do it on his own. Okay, if she takes 2 steps, then I take 2 steps and stop. Yeah, so those are really good exercises. Yes, all of it, but he's such a cutie.
He's very obedient at home, and like even with the heel command at home, he'll follow me right on the leg and then sit beside me. But it's just like the distractions. A lot of it I put down to age. It's 11 months old, you know, it's still puppy, but yeah, some of it it's just
it is, but it's just so he loves other dogs so much, huh?
He's really socialized.
Yeah, he loves them. So it's just kind of teaching him that you are the key to getting that, just toning it down a little bit, getting him out of his own mind when he sees those other dogs. I think most of it can be worked through just sitting here on the leash, honestly, what we've been doing to get him into that state where it's not like 0, 100, it's more just static. Yeah, for sure.
That's really good.
Yes! Good boy, Pappy, good boy! He's a good boy! Yes. So cute, you got it? So cute. Oh my goodness. He's adorable. You're so welcome. You have to let me know how he's doing.
I will.
Lots of homework.
Yeah, I'm so happy you did a Perth meetup too.
Me
you were
too.
like, oh, it's like there's more people in Sydney. It's not fair.
I think that's like 50-50, right? It ended up being.
Did it? It was 75-25.
No, I mean just people who signed up though, right? Wasn't it like almost split? Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so
I know.
glad you like it here. You're
I am obsessed with it. I'm like, how do I move here?
I'm Irish. I moved here like 8 years ago.
You did?
Yeah, I came for like a year holiday and then I was like, I'm not leaving.
Oh my gosh, I'm like trying to extend my trip another month here, and then I'm like, oh.
You should see lots of these guys around, the red kelpies.
I love it. Yeah, you don't
everywhere.
see them as much, but I do see them in San Diego quite often. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, they're farm
So
dogs here,
pretty.
but they're very clever. I think that's probably most of our problems.
So
with them.
smart,
they're
yeah.
really intelligent
But you did a really good job at training and being on top of him right away.
Yeah.
It's just this literally showing him like you're the key to getting that and not being in his own world.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And
So-
that will help. I think the recall and the lead pulling, they're both happening because he gets in the zone with a distraction.
Yep.
So I know that when we fix one of them, it will help
Totally.
with both of the problems.
And I
So-
think that you saw the perfect amount of mental freedom to give him, like how well he did in the beginning, and then when we let him have too much mental freedom, how he got back into that state. You have to find that perfect amount that you can't always do when he's off. You can never do when he's off leash.
That's
you know?
right.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that's really good.
Oh, it was so great to meet you guys.
You're probably so tired.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not at all. No. Oh my gosh, he's ready to play. Thank you guys so much for waiting. Hi, who's this? Who is this?
Harvey.
Harvey? Hi, are you trying to get the camera?
We understand like focus is going to be like the answer to like nearly everything, but
Totally.
getting his focus is the hard part. Like,
Yes.
he doesn't really respond well to food or dog toys or anything.
It's the breed, right? They're not that food motivated. Yeah.
Yeah, like most dogs at home, he's pretty good, but in public it's like so hard.
Really? So home, you think his obedience and everything is really good?
It's pretty good. I wouldn't say he's like a perfect dog.
Okay.
A few things to work on, but yeah, mostly just when we're out and about, like other dogs and people are like such big distractions.
Both
Really
dogs and people?
And kids are
Yes! Good down. Oh, all the way, but 2. That's not a down, that's the opposite. Grab his leash, I'm gonna make him do it.
I do have treats as well. It helps.
No, he's responding to it. Where are you going? Yes, good boy. So one thing, he sat on his own. Like he was like pulling to get to a dog, and then it wasn't like getting him what he wanted with you guys a second ago. And so he sat on his own, which was actually really impressive that he knew to do that on his own.
Yeah.
The one thing is I would never reward for a sit without focus. So when you guys are going up, do you live near here? Is this like the park you go to or no?
No, we're about 40 minutes.
Oh, you are?
South.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yes! Yes! Hey, can you look? Have you practiced a look command at all? I thought the dog was coming in.
No, not a look command.
Okay, so when you teach look, I'm gonna hold the treat out here and tell him, look. Yes! You've never done that?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Never been told.
So look, when a lot of people teach it, they go like this. They just say, look. And I think that's really like, oh, thank you for the kiss. I think that's cheating. It's like you want him to learn that you're right, like focus is the key to all of it. Like how to get to the dogs, how to get to everything is looking at you. Because as you can see, naturally, yes, I see him really, really trying to figure out what's the right thing. You see how he's like, I want to get to them. And whereas the dog a second ago never checked in naturally with the owner, he was like lunging, pulling. He's really trying to figure it out. So I know with just a little direction, he's gonna be great. So we want him to know that like looking is what gets him there. Because what I see with him is like he zones in on these dogs, but if it's not working, of course, as he pulls, if it's not working, then he tried sitting and looking at me. So what you want is when he zones in, so you're gonna be able to use the look command when he's zoning in on these other dogs. But to teach him it, I use the treat. So this represents the dogs he's zoning in, and you're telling him his key to getting it is looking at you. Whereas naturally you can see, he thinks, yes, his key to getting it is just going for it, right? That's what he does with dogs, people. Sit. Hobby. Yes. Look. Yes! Like, see, he goes for his natural instinct and then stops himself. Like, it's very impressive. It actually is. Although it looks like he's all over the place, he has a lot more self-control and, like, very intelligent than you think. It's just kind of doing this and making it all together will make it more smooth. Sit. Yes. Look. Halfway there, excuse me. So you can be really like, once he starts to do it and is understanding it, you can be strict with a look has to be a controlled look, not a look and jump on me, you know? Sit. Yes. And typically I would say never teach a dog in this environment, but I think it's actually really good for him to learn in this. Like I would say teach this to him at home and then apply it once he knows it here, but he's really smart that I think this environment is really good for him to learn it. Because I guarantee at home if you were doing this, he probably wouldn't be jumping on you, because what he's doing is exerting all this excitement, and we're going to keep doing this until he learns to exert that excitement into self-control and focus. Ready? Let's try again. Yes. Look. Yes! Very good. Good boy. Look. Yes! So good! Show him what to do, and then you're gonna try to have him do it on his own. But if he's not, I'm gonna call him again. Javi, sit. Yes! Like I'm showing him how to get it, and then I want his mind to go back on there, and I wanna see him do it. Not there yet. Yes! Try again. Up here. Sit. Yes! Try again. Yes! Okay, go get it. Okay, so what I did, you'd rather have the rock. Oh my God, he's so funny. I love him. You are such a silly boy. Yes, you are. So what I did there is, like, I always tell people that the different levels of training are, one, does the dog respond with your direction? He's pretty damn good at that, don't you think? Like once you just like, Javi, he's pretty good at focusing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure sometimes it's a lot harder when he's really zoned in, but he's pretty good. So when I threw the treat, I mean, he looked pretty instantly when I'm showing him, how do you get the treat? It's not being in your own world and pulling to it.
Yeah.
And this is probably one of the hardest exercises for a dog because we're not giving him like a wait or leave it or anything. He's really having to figure out, wait, how do I get that thing? So we're rewiring his brain that instead of pulling, being in your own world to get it, you need to check in with me to get it. So the different levels are, one, does he respond with the direction, which he did great at. So once he does that, yes! Then I try with a level 2, seeing if he'll do it on his own. And what he actually just did right there was a level 2, checking in on his own. Yeah. And level 2s are like everything. So you should reward him like crazy for those level 2s. Yes! So good. Do you praise him for that when he naturally checks in? Yeah. I'm very impressed by that. Like a dog, yeah. Like I would do more of this, letting him go in his own world and then trying to figure it out on his own. A lot of times with these really smart breeds, people are always on top of them, so he will never be motivated to snap out of anything on his own because he's like, oh, if they need me, they'll ask me. Yeah. So it's like, I always like to teach a dog to do something like, let's say, okay, he wants to get to that dog, so I'm going to show him how he could get there. Javi, yes, good boy. I'll show you. Now let me see you do it on your own. Oh, you went an inch, but like, see how he tries to do it?
Yeah.
And if he's not registering with the level 2, oh, he's looking at you guys, he's just confused. Then we'll go back to level 1 and try another level 2. Here, go look at the dog. Yes! Okay, now you try on your own.
Hi.
Yes! Okay, go say hi. Yes! That was so good. I'm so impressed by him. So I think what he needs more of is those level 2s because like as I said before, he tries to figure it out on his own.
Yeah.
He, as stubborn as you guys might think he is, it's actually not stubbornness. Like he's really, really trying to do, like make the right decision, what you guys want him to do. You just have to, yes! Yes, you're such a good boy! Oh my gosh, he's so cute.